What is going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well, and I wanted to take some time tonight to do a breakdown of my man Eric Sims' baseball swing. So eSim69 on Twitter sent me this and asked me to break it down. So thank you, Eric, for sending this. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching this video. I will never be able to forget this video, and I am honored to break it down. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing that comes to mind when I watch this, and when I watch your swing, is Eric doesn't even come remotely close to making contact. So this pitch is probably 2.5 to 3 feet away from his barrel. So if you zoom in a little bit and take a closer look, you can see that right about here, he thinks it's a fastball. And if you fast forward a few frames, it was not a fastball. Okay. So I gotta give this guy a shout out because the pitch is about to bounce right about here. Okay, and Eric's gonna swing about there. Now, most guys at about this point realize, oh God, this isn't gonna end well, right? Now, most people are gonna maybe attempt the check swing, maybe swing with one hand or break their posture, or do something to try and salvage this at bat. My dude just takes a hack. He literally takes a full swing. And I just cannot believe what I'm watching, and I have so much respect for my dude. So kudos to you, Eric, for not getting cheated. I mean, when you watch this, the catcher can't even catch it. Like, it eats him alive. It's a long hop. He's long hopping the catcher, and it eats the catcher up. I mean, you look at here, the catcher's bailing out of the way. The umpire's bailing out of the way. He's swinging for some reason, and it's hitting the catcher in the left shin guard, kicking off to the right. It's like, holy cow. And if you zoom in even more, I think that this pitch is actually hitting grass. I'm pretty sure this pitch is literally hitting the grass in front of home plate. And there's about 2 feet of dirt in front of home plate until we get to that grass. Another thing I got to point out as we kind of scroll through this, there's 2 strikes. And in a lot of situations, a lot of players, a lot of try-hard players especially, they're going to go ahead and take a hard 90. You know, it's a drop pitch strike. They're going to try and get to first base. But at a certain point, you got to have some self-respect. So kudos to you, Eric, because if you swing 3 feet away from a pitch, I don't care if that pitch rolls all the way to the backstop. I don't care if that pitch rolls 100 feet from home plate. You don't run to first base. You just take the L and you head back to the dugout. And you did. So as far as the actual swing goes, a couple things stand out. One is this position. What exactly is going on here? He's turned completely sideways. His head is literally parallel with the ground. I can't imagine doing anything athletic in that position. Like, how could you possibly see the ball when your head is literally 90 degrees tilted sideways? I've actually never seen this before. I mean, that might be my new background on my phone. I actually don't understand what's happening here. Okay, as far as the actual swing goes, again, the first thing when we talk about a swing breakdown is we look at the load. Okay, so during the load phase, we want to see a little bit of inward rotation of the pelvis and torso. So the lower half and upper half of the body should be turning backwards, rotating towards the catcher. And you can see with Eric here, he doesn't do that even in the slightest. So he has absolutely no load at all. So that's not what you want to see. Next thing we look for is the stride. And during the stride, we want to see a few things. One, we want to see that the lower half is initiating rotation. So generally, the lower half begins to fire, and as the front foot gets down, the hitter will be in a good athletic launch position. And that position includes there being some separation of lower half and upper half. You can see here with my man Eric, there's absolutely no separation at all. He lands completely square. Okay, so typically, like I said, you'd see a little bit of a stretch in that jersey right about there if you're doing it right, which he is not even close to doing it right. So he's landing square, and then at this point, typically we want to be in a good hitting position, which he's not in, but generally we want to see a bat path that looks basically like this. Most good hitters are going to kind of drop their barrel back behind their body, and it's going to get on plane with the incoming pitch and then work behind it through the ball and stay through it. What you're going to see when you watch Eric swing is his bat pass actually going to look more like that. Okay. So, again, lands completely square and just chops straight down at this pitch. And in his defense, the pitch is 3 feet in front of home plate, so maybe that's why he swings like this. But that's just not what we want to see. The other thing we look for is sequencing. So we want, like we said earlier, the hips to go first, and then the upper body, and then the arms, and then the wrists and the hands. And it's very subtle, but it's something you can look at when you watch the best hitters in the world. As Eric lands, you can see everything just crashes together at once. There is no sequence at all. It's just a complete one-piece swing. He's basically pushing or like chest pressing his bat straight down into the hitting zone, which essentially gives him little to no chance of making contact. And if he does make contact, it's just not going to be hit very hard. The last thing is this position here. So generally as hitters land and start their swing, you're going to see their pelvis kind of tilt upwards, and then their upper body is going to be, either either perpendicular to the ground, or power hitters usually have a little bit of lean back. That kind of helps them with their bat path. Eric's going to go ahead and be lean forward about 30 to 35 degrees, which is something I'm actually not sure I've ever seen before. And I really wonder, Eric, if you had back pain when you played, because I actually have back pain just watching this right now. And I'm not sure how you're able to rotate that fast with that much forward bend. I need to stop watching this because I am actually in pain. So like I told Eric on Twitter, when you look at his load, you look at his stride, you look at his launch position, his bat path, his finish, it is actually a freaking miracle that this guy could hit 230 in minor league baseball throughout his 5-6 year career. Like, this is something that you should be extremely proud of, Eric. I am very, very impressed that you could swing like that and hit 230 in professional baseball. You might be the best athlete this game has ever seen. And I'm very, very happy you sent this to me. And I hope this helps.